Hey guys, how you doing? This is Julian Lee, and in tonight's video we're going to be talking about split testing and some different areas in your page you should be looking to split test as you're on your paid advertising campaigns. Alright, so if you want to know what I'm doing, make some additional income online, my link is there in the description field. But without further ado, let's just jump in real quick. Now, when you're speaking of split testing, right, I mean, there's so many different variables you could take a look at. Now, I'm not going to talk about split testing as it relates to, like, if you're doing a Facebook PPC, I'm going to test your different ads and that type of thing, or if you're doing any Google, any Google ads or anything on Bing. I won't be speaking about those. Or even if you're doing things on YouTube PPC, for instance, I'm just talking about split tests on your split test different elements on your actual landing page, your capture page, your squeeze page, where visitors go to before they decide to opt in, right? So let's go ahead and let me jump into one of my tools here. Let's see. Let's use Convertry. Let's go to Convertry. And I know I did a review video on this before, but the thing with Convertry, guys, is it's fast as hell, and this is why I use it. Right? So I'm gonna go in here and find a couple pages, right? And actually just show you guys some split tests. Right? Let me just show you some different elements. And actually, this is from actual solo ad traffic. These percentages here. Now let's just use this particular page, and we could use any of them. There's a bunch of different things I've got in here. So let's just use yeah, let's go with this one. Basic page, right? And let's just talk about different elements of a page that you could split test. And what you should split test. There's a gentleman I used to follow back in the day. He's no longer around. This guy was called Dagan. Well, not called. His name is Dagan Smith, but he doesn't seem to be active in the internet space. But there's a time that this guy was like an 8-figure income earner. He was killing it. A lot of big folks on the make money online space actually learn from him. So it was interesting to see, but this guy was a wizard, man, and he knew how to split test. You know what he split tested? He split tested the shit out of all of his capture pages, lead pages, and he knew he was able to get up to 60-something% conversion ratio. So you know that every visitor that came to that page, and that's a great number, 60% of them became subscribers, right? And of course, he had a good follow-up system. He had a good sales funnel behind that as well. He actually converted that as to why he was an 8-figure earner. Now, different pieces of the pages, right? Now, if I want to split test a page like this, right? Let's forget about the copy for a second. We're not going to, well, we are going to focus on the copy because if there's different elements that we have to split test. So even just looking at this page, if I want to split test this page, I would only change one thing at a time, right? One thing at a time and see what works the best, right? And of course, I could do this in threes. So if it's going to be the headline, right, if I want to change this headline, I'm going to split test just this headline alone, and I'm going to leave everything else the same. I'm not touching shit outside the headline, right? So same white background, same little step 1, step 2, same buttons, everything, okay? The only thing I'm going to change is just the headline, and that's it, right? Different ways to split test this. That's just one element, right? And, you want to run some traffic, and you could actually, depending on your tracker you're using, you could send the traffic. So if you're using 3 pages, you could send about 33% of the visitors to each. It's always going to be 1 page, so we actually, I think, get like 34 to make it 100% of all the traffic. But and that'll be your control page, right? So you always want to have your control page, and then you actually want to have a couple of pages that you split test against that. Now, as far as elements, like I said, I know there's some other tools out there that allow you to do a lot of different things, even some trackers that really allows you to really do some serious split testing. But again, the point of this conversation is what different elements of the page do you split test, right? Now, again, you can really start with anything, but I would start with the headline first because that's the thing that's the driving factor, right? And, I would start there, okay? And once I hone that in, once I know if I find a new control and I see, what my percentage is up to, right? Then I can move on to another step, right? Now, if I want to change these buttons, that's all I would change. Again, I would try some different colors to see what works best, right? And if I gotten that, I would have a combination of whichever headline and whichever button color work the best, right? Now, once I ironed out those two, because I got to split them, different pieces, so maybe 3 different variations of the headline, I pick the winner. That becomes my new control page, right? Then another split test with different button colors right here, and with the winning headline. And I'll see which one is the best, right? And that'll be my new control, right? And you kind of keep taking it step by step, right? Then I want to play around once I've checked this out, I want to play around with the background color, right? Whites and just 3 different variation colors just to see what sticks out. You can do some research too on what colors people tend to gravitate towards. All right, there's some colors. Sometimes I like the little gray in the background is good, and having a plain page. And I would split test those elements next. The other thing I could split test really too, even this as simple as the information in this little text here as well. All right, but again, the point is to do them one at a time. The biggest glaring thing would be the headline. That's the numero uno, number one thing. I would then go on to call to action from that point. Now, there are different tools out there that give you heat mapping, right? So they kind of let you know where people are clicking on your page, and that type of thing as well. I know a lot of guys have used those different technologies over the years to kind of hone in on their page, but the one person I would reference is Dagan Smith. He's not active anywhere online that I've noticed, but that guy was phenomenal, man, in how he did his split test, and he would show the evolution of all of his squeeze pages, how they converted. This guy was killing it. This guy was so friggin', he had that thing down to a science. I'm just looking at my the clock. I don't want to run this thing too long, but just to kind of go over our key points again, right? When we're speaking about split testing, we're talking about split testing your landing page or your squeeze page, right? I like to call it, they call it a capture page. I'm a little bit more old school. They call it a squeeze page, and a lot of people in the internet marketing circle still does. So you hear me refer to the squeeze page because your focus is getting that email address, right? And of course, again, notice why I'm not collecting the name, and there's a reason for that, because it is proven, I've done it myself already, so don't even bother, that if you actually ask for more information, your opt-in ratio drops off. If it's just email alone, it'll always beat name and that type of thing. Of course, it depends on the industry you're in. You may want to collect the name, and you're just going to expect to get a lower opt-in ratio. And there's some industries that even with the name, it could be higher. This really just depends. But generally, the more information someone has to put in, then the lower the opt-in ratio will be. The less information, the easier it is, right? So, and there's even something called micro commitment squeeze pages, where you get them to take a couple of steps for free, and then it's easier for them to move the step. That's what that same gentleman Dagan had down, and we'll talk about that in another video. But again, I just want to touch on these key points, right, as far as split testing, right? So let's just to recap real quick, all right? If you're looking at split testing your squeeze page, your capture page, whichever term you want to use, you definitely want to start with the headline. Everything else on the page should remain the same. You don't touch a damn thing. You change the headline, start with about 3 different variations, run some traffic. You see which one reacts the best to that headline, right? And again, you want to keep your traffic source the same, right? You don't want to just keep throwing different traffic sources at it, because different traffic sources can skew your results. You want to always do this with one decent, good quality traffic source, and you keep tweaking that and keep tweaking and keep tweaking until you get that page down to where okay, then with this page, I could go in this space, and in these different traffic sources, I could get X results, right? But again, I would start with a capture page first. Excuse me, not the capture page. I would start with a headline first, and then from there, once I get the winner, that becomes my new control. I would look at something like the button colors, okay, and then the winner of that will be my new control, and with the winning headline from before, and then the winning button color. And if I want to play with the text, then I could. Again, the same process, 3 different variations, and get it, and test it and see what it looks like against control. Obviously, this works best if you're doing paid advertising. If you're doing free traffic, you're not driving a lot of traffic, it's gonna be it's gonna take a while to get this data, right? So this is best, obviously, with paid advertising. So this could be solo ads, it could be banner advertising, and again, there's still split tests even on banners before you even get to the page. But we're talking about on the actual squeeze page itself. What are the elements you would want to test out, and what are the different things you want to look at to try and get the best performing page you can, right? And then from there, you could keep on building upon that. So I guess I just want to touch on those main things in today's video about split testing your pages, and how you should do that, and why you should do that, more importantly, because you want to be able to get the highest opt-in ratio, right? Because more leads coming in on the front end brings your cost per lead down. And of course, you still have a sales page and your follow-up sequence and that stuff in the back end to actually, that you still would have to also split test as well, because you're going to see, what type of, if you got a sales page it's going to, like, say, for instance, if I'm giving away a free report or free video, from there, I would actually split test different things. Maybe, in certain instances, and I've seen them both work. Personally, I prefer videos. That's just me. But sometimes, opting in and people taking action on a video to me is a high converting thing than they take option on a lead magnet or on a PDF. The thing with a PDF, obviously they could share that type of thing. You could actually have your links in there. But if it's a page where they can't really share, but there's actually the video content, video just allows you to connect with people a lot faster than reading something in the PDF, right? It's that know, like, and trust factor. So I'm just putting that out there. But these are some of the elements we start with if we want to look, if we're looking at split testing our squeeze page. So guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't as of yet, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell button so you get updates of my latest videos. And of course, if you want to find out what I'm doing to make money online, click the link in the description field and you will see what that's all about. This is Julian Lee. I want to thank you very much for stopping by. Much love and appreciation. I salute you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.